And now, from Glasgow.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Good evening.
Get ready to the countdown.
So, good evening, everybody. So, how are we all? Welcome to part 4 of doing a Bellhead. I've been making a couple of changes to the stream. One thing that I've done is I've added some chill music in the background. I think that's a little bit loud. So, what I want to do is, if we have like a moment when we're not talking, or if I need to just run away from the keyboard for a minute, you haven't got total silence. So what I'm going to ask you is, as the stream goes on, if I can just get your feedback. Do you want it a little bit louder? Do you want it a little bit more quiet? I have been playing it while watching other YouTube videos to try and get a rough guide of its volume, but until we actually have other people on and we're actually streaming, I really don't know for sure. So first in is Athol. And I would say, never a true word said in jest. Evening Shadows Mistress. And then we have the return of Exploring Unseen. Nice to see you, my friend. He says, hi, guys. So we are working on Bellhead. I've done a couple of things off stream last night when we finished it. I gave the bell an extra coat. So I'll come back to that. I gave the bandages an extra coat. And they look very, very bright at the moment, but by the time we put a wash over that, it will really dull down. I think I might have done an extra coat on the is it the cobalt metal. Now, I wasn't happy with the skin. I think I thinned it down a little bit too much, so I applied an extra coat, and I think that coat came out a little bit too thick. I do have a tendency to mess up skin. But we'll work with that. It just means he might come out slightly lighter skinned than I planned. Whereas the dude on the back, I gave him an extra coat, and I'm really happy with the way he's turning out. So he's almost, and I forgot to do the bandages on his head, but that's fine. We'll just have to redo him. So the original plan was to finish him tonight, which I think is a little bit unrealistic now. My next stream will be Wednesday, and then I've got Saturday and Sunday off, so I'll be doing 3 streams next week. So I think we'll aim to finish him on Wednesday, but realistically we're going to finish him next weekend. You know what I'm like. So as always, if anybody wants to hop on and join me, you are more than welcome to do so. The link should be at the top. I have remembered to actually pin the link. Usual rules apply. Basically, you know, make yourself known on chat first, so that we know you're not just some arsehole that's just out to cause trouble, and all is good. Sprue and Glue says hi, Penny. So hi, Sprue and Glue. In the words of Vader, most impressive. Thank you very much. And Mark Fitz, hello stranger. So he says hello. I've had no comments on the shall we have, right, until if we get anyone else comes on, I'll change the view. But let's change the view. Okay, reference skin, Penny. Skin seen as in shadow should lighter and can be achieved with a flesh wash. Yeah, this is the thing. Obviously I've got two flesh washers, so we can always put a flesh wash. I'll probably put a flesh wash over the top when I finish, but the plan in my head is to put a slightly diluted soft skin flesh wash, just to sort of bring the colours together a little bit. But obviously if I need to, I can apply multiple coats or don't thin it quite so much. Athol says evening sprue and Mark fit. So yes, I've had no feedback yet on the music, so I'm going to assume all is good in the hood. Why am I saying that today? Just give me a second, guys. I'm a little bit unprepared. What I normally do is I normally go to the army painter because I'm quite new to the paints that I'm using. So what I'll tend to do, let me share the screen with you and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I've got so many share screen windows open. Entire screen 1. There we go. So what I like to do is bring up the no, not that one, not that one, not that one. All colors, there we go. So I like to bring this up and then I can refer to it at any time. So I, get the colors out. It also helps me find them. So I've had a bit of a clean up today, so I've put all of my paints away. So as I've said to you guys before, I store my paints until I move house and I get my my storage system sorted out. I store all of my paints like this, but this only holds 60 paints at a time, and the black is already out, as is the yellow. So I am after the washers, and I think that is in set 4 or set 3, but I think it's set 4. So we're looking at doing some washers over the metallics, which I know that's my effects paint. I was right first time with set 3. My apologies. One day I will be organised. I will know. People can shoot the name of a colour at me and I will go, yep, that's in set number 2, third one down, second across. Right, so washers. I think we are going to need, this is why I wanted the list, and that's not the list I was actually after. I was actually after my conversion for the washers. So I'm going to pull out dark tone, sepia tone, strong skin, soft tone, light tone, dark skin, and I'll pull my purple tone out later when we get around to the when we get to the intestines. So, and actually, if you remember, this is the original color of the skin, and as I've added the skin color in, I think those intestines look fantastic. I think all we do is just pop a little purple wash on there. So where are we up to? Evening Athol, evening exploring unseen, and Mr. Belmosan, evening Athol. Okay, Penny, where is your Arctic Blue semi-gloss? Good question. Good question. In the box over there. No, I got no idea at the moment, so I have to just follow the list. Right, so I think for the metallics, this is one that I'm a little bit, I have to put this onto a piece of paper. Dark tone, strong tone, I think one is the equivalent of an Agrax Earthshade, and one is the equivalent to a black, and I think strong tone is the black, which it is, and the dark tone must be, no, right, dark tone is the black, strong tone is the Agrax Earthshade. So what I'm going to do is, I think on the axe, I will do that in, oh God, no, oh, sorry guys, I've just had a semi-emergency. So what I've done this morning, I was on Bearded Veteran Create stream, and I lost a part to the carpet monsters. I was doing a Messerschmitt 109, so I roughly made a replacement part using milliput. So I've left it on this tile to dry, and I also have done the control. I mean, it looks nothing at the moment because it's just got one base colour on it, which has got to be painted over anyway. And I left it on the tile to dry, and I've just picked the tile up, put my fingers in them, and they almost went flying everywhere. So I don't know how long milliput takes to dry hard, but that's still got a bit of softness in it. So the answer to that is more than a few hours. Right, so let's do the metal, the actual weapon and his armor in dark tone, and then let's do his bell in strong tone. Let me see if I've got that right. Yes, so let's do the bell first, and once we get the washers down, we can then because they're the bits that are going to take a little bit longer to dry, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, but that's the way it is. And I'm going to take his arms off and deal with things in a... Oh, I'm also going to Agrax Earthshade the bandages. So I want to try and hold this in the position it will be. And then this is where it will really pop, guys, because all those little details, all the little recesses will start to pop. And you can just see the details starting to come in. You've also got a hell of a load of brush marks as well, but and just obviously the main thing you want to look out for is pooling. And if you want pooling, obviously control it. Let's put more on there, shall we? I'm trying to okay, having said I'm going to do a black wash, I've just applied an Agrax Earthshade over it. Never mind. I think that'll work anyway, because that kind of makes it a bit mucky. And if I do miss any chat, I do apologise. Stream, what is this? This is Streamlabs. Streamlabs, they have like notifications. So I've just found a notification that when someone, with all streaming software, I don't know if you guys have used it, or you know, if there's anyone that hasn't used streaming software, you get the actual stream chat comes up, and then you have your own little private chat as well, and it's usually hidden behind the main chat, so it's quite easy to miss. And this software actually has audible beeps and things, so that if someone was to send a private message, you wouldn't hear it, but I'll get a little beep to tell me that. And also when someone joins the stream, it actually comes in my head, such and such, whatever their name is, has joined the stream. So I can get heads down and get on with the build, and if anyone joins, I'll hear it in my headphones. Right, so let's check these bandages out. Oh my god, look at that. I am a big fan of washers. Not to be lazy, but I just couldn't get that effect any other way. Because this is the thing that I've been thinking about, is I've said until recently I'm really not interested in speed paints and contrast paints. I think it's the name. For me personally, they're named wrong. The word speed paint suggests you need to get your models painted quicker, and that isn't what I'm about. If they were to call them really helps you get some nice detail paints, then I'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. So that's his bandages. So I said that was a little bit too white, which it is, but look at the difference just with an application of wash. Absolutely amazing. While I'm here, I'm gonna put a wash over the handle of his weapon. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm washing everything except for his skin, because the skin I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do, funnily enough, I'm going to do it the wrong way round, or a different way round. There is no wrong way round with painting, in my opinion. So whereas most of this is going to be paint base layer, apply wash, reapply base in selected areas, apply selected highlights, and then give it a big highlight. You want to move the in screen, right? So if I did that, for example, is that a lot better? Thank you for all the feedback, by the way. So Dominique says, evening Penny, you joining us today, Dominique? I know you're threatening to join us. Jim Eldecott says, hello Penny, hello to all in chat. And then Mark Fitz says you might want to move the in screen. Thanks for that, I do appreciate feedback. Like I say, I'm not always watching, so I can't actually see what's happening. So, right, let's see, I think I'll do this in 2 bits. I think I'll just do the bell, so I'm holding on to the to that, and then once the bell is dry, I'll do the top bit. No, actually I won't. I can put the bell down and do that separately. Look at that. See, I mean, you've probably noticed the cracks in the bell, but when you're painting everything in one colour, it really doesn't show that much. And then once you get that wash in place, it just pops, doesn't it? I am a big wash fan. I think back in the days when I was using Games Workshop paints, the most amazing thing they did was the introduction of bigger bottles to the wash, because I was buying washes so often, and then suddenly they doubled the size of the pot, and they didn't quite double the price, which was reasonable if you ask me. So there's so much detail on this, I do have to be careful of it pooling, but at the same time I want it to get into all of the recesses. So what I tend to do is I actually put it in the recesses and then just kind of wick it out a little bit. I don't mind it settling underneath, but again, you got to sort of get your angles a bit. So it might actually be worth holding this upside down while it dries, because I don't mind the muck accumulation underneath, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Doesn't that look fabulous now? It's almost cheating, isn't it? Have I just used the wrong wash? Have I just used a black wash? Yeah, I have. Never mind. Oh, they'll just look a little bit different, won't they? So I'm still at that stage where I'm not thinking strong tone, dark tone, etc. I'm thinking Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil. But do you know what? I don't think that's going to matter. It will look a bit different, but right. Right. A little bit too little too late there, but yeah, I've just put my paintbrush in this. Right, just get the top of that bell done now. Probably should have done the rope as well, shouldn't I? Saying that, I think the rope, we might just get away with just painting that straight with a highlight colour. We'll see. Right, okay guys, I can't do anything now. Yes I can do the base. So I have been doing a bit of homework. I have been looking up wood colours, but most of the wood colours that I've been looking up is have I got my little cheat sheet here? I've been making cheat sheets up. Here we go. So the best video I found for doing wood, it's a little bit backwards, but they've been doing wood like this. So what you're doing is you're getting the deeper recesses and then you're putting the lighter shades on top. So he says base coat it with a English uniform or something between a Steel Legion drab and a Zandri dust. Then you do the lines with Ushabti bone, then glaze with a brown medium, diluted 1 to 2 with like Lama medium or something equivalent. Then you reinforce that Ushabti bone. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint. I don't know if you can see it, but there is very faint wood grain in there. So I think what I'll do is I will paint that with an equivalent of Ushabti bone. So for that I'm going to need my conversion chart, which there is one conversion chart. So should be round about there, I think. There we are. No, that's race bone. Do they still do use Ushabti bone? That's our pale sand, isn't it? Right, let's look for a different colour then. Let's look for a really light woody colour. Yeah, because race bone, yes, so it's going to be that pale sand again, isn't it? Right, so pale sand is, can't remember where that comes in. That might be set number, I can't wait for the days when I know this. Right, triad system. Yeah, one day I will know all of this off by heart. Light neutrals. So that'll be set 2 or 1, 2 or 4. So this is going to run the risk of being the same colour as the bandage. No, it won't. It won't, because we'll be putting lines over the top. So, right. I'm still at that mixing my paints really well every use, because they are still fairly new. Right, let's get a nice big brush. Whoops, just lost something there, that's okay. I sort something out and then I can't find it. I used to have a little bottle of thinners on my desk, and now that bottle of thinner has gone. Where, oh where has that gone? Okay, where are you? This is why I hate tidying my desk up, because I move things and they disappear. And I know it's right in front of me, because it generally is. I was looking, those paints that I lost yesterday, I couldn't find one of my sets of paints, and it was actually by my right foot on the floor all the time, by my left foot all the time. Right, 3 seconds from giving up. 3, 2, 1. We're thinning with water tonight. That's too thin now. How's the music, guys? I quite like it. I mean, I've got volume control on my actual headphones, but it's that kind of music where I wouldn't say, "Oh, this is fantastic, I want to go out and buy it," but at the same time, it's not inappropriate. Do you know, I think I might want to go a little bit darker on that one. Right, and I know I'm not going to see the top bit of it. Well, I will actually. Hello, Shadow. Can I just say that you were the very first name mentioned on this stream today? Not that you actually care. You're more concerned. He's looking at me with disgust because his little cushion which he uses, he's stole my part work cushion, and it's now officially his bed, and he's looking at me as if to say, excuse me, you've got things on the bed, on my bed. Right. Well, it was when you did your bandages, lol. Hi Dom de Dom 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 and afternoon Jim, and hello Ethel, and that is the look at dig me, guys. I'm keeping up to date with my chat. Right. Fish tank breather system, rebreather system. So if I turn the music up a little bit, does that help? I mean, you might not want the music, guys, for all I know. I know what you can hear. You can hear my 3D printer. Let me go and turn the 3D printer off. Oh no! No! That's my PC. I've got my PC on the desk. I still need to go and switch the 3D printer off. I've been doing some prints this afternoon of some. So my fantastic idea is this, which is a great idea, but I found. Let me show you what I found. No, I can't show you what I found because I've actually found some bottle tops. They stick onto the top of your bottles and they've got some shape, but you paint them with the colour of the paint and then stick it onto the top of the paint, and that's a lot better than using swatches. And they also do some versions for the citadels, and I just thought, well, that's going to be, because what I did last night or before that, I got some of these and I've scratched them up, and the idea is that I was going to paint them with the contrast paints, and then the contrast will help, you'll be able to see the what do you call it, the details. Right, okay, let me stop that then. I might have forgotten to press a button, except I haven't. Download, no, videos, common. Right, I've purposely turned it up really loud. Can you guys hear that? You can't, can you? Yeah, you can. No, you can't. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's definitely coming through the stream. Right, so I'm suggesting that is way too loud. Unless because my headphones are turned up really loud. Right, let me put that about proportional on the bar to the volume of me. How's that now? Speaking over the music. 1, 2, 3. Right, so Mark says I can now. Yeah, so I just had it too loud. I don't want it too loud so that I can't hear over other guests, but obviously I don't want the music. I've seen quite a few videos where people are playing music, and don't get me wrong, it's really nice music, but it's completely overpowering the person doing the talking. And obviously you've come on this stream to see and hear me more than you haven't come here to listen to background music. I don't know if I like that colour. I think I'm going to attempt to be a little bit flashy. I'm going to take the bony spikes and I'm just going to darken it a little tiny bit with dryad brown. Whether that will give us a colour that already exists, I don't know. Do you know what? I ran out of toilet paper, so I stole a roll from work, and it's cheap toilet paper. But do you know what? It's absolutely brilliant for this. Right. So I've gone one darker on the light neutrals. Right, good. So right, I'll keep it like this until we get a guest come in, and then obviously I can start fine-tuning it then. But it looks like this might be too much. Might be too much in there. Oh god, that's way too much. Oh no, I don't know. That's okay. Oh no, I think that's too much. Right, so let's take some of that. That's alright, isn't it? That I'm quite liking as a wood colour. It's meant to be the inside of the wood. Obviously it's not fully mixed in yet. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? It's got that browniness to it. By the time we put a wash over it, it's not going to be that colour anyway. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? It's that light colour but with a tinge. You can't connect to OBS. Have you got a problem there, Don? See, the way I see it is these light woods, something like this, you can do it absolutely any colour you want, because if it comes out dark, it just makes it look like you've stained it with a wood stain. So it works, doesn't it, whatever colour you use. So the only trouble is I've mixed the paint together, so when I do my next model, to try and recreate that, I've got to get that mix exactly right. So what I want to try and do is get some of that onto my wet palette. Otherwise that actually doesn't really matter, does it? The other good thing about this chill music, it's just very short of 2 hours long. So it tells me, so when you say you can't connect, do you mean that you can't connect to this stream? Because I can always post the link again. Maybe it's my fault. So there's the link again, guys. Let me do a comparison. Yeah, that is the correct link. Let me check the link as well. Yeah, that works. So if you're talking about connecting to this stream, then obviously I don't know, but it's working my end. Right, okay, so how are we getting on with these washers? Probably need, oh, they're not too bad actually. Oh no, that's still, oh god, that's that one's sorting out. That's pulled a little bit too much there, and it's gone and pulled on the side that's going to be visible, like the front. Not a major problem. I like that. It's possibly a little darker than I'd planned for, but I like it. Better check these then, hadn't I? Bandages. Oh god, there's one I've completely missed there. And another hand. Usually the problem areas is where you've put it down, it kind of collects all underneath. So wherever possible, if I wasn't painting the base, I would have actually put it together again and let it sit like that. But it's what it is. Right. So Mark Fitz saying I'll try and see if I can get in, but I won't stay on as I can't find my headphones. That's all right. We've had some legendary sessions with you in your headphones, haven't we? Right. So I think we can possibly work on this. Yeah, we've got someone in. So we've got Mark. So I know you're not coming on, but that just shows that the link's working. You all good, Mark? You can't hear me, can you? Because you haven't got headphones on. Right. Okay. Let's try and get on. So set 3, Cobalt. Look at that, first one I pulled out. Is that live? Oh, I see. Yeah, my little thing went a bit funny, and it was Mark leaving. Thanks for doing that, Mark. Appreciate it. Right. Let's get rid of my metallic brushes, as I call them. See these metallics, what I'm starting to notice is that very much like the complete opposite Citadel, much like the AK Interactives, they do thin with water, but they are actually a bit nicer if you thin them with an alcohol based thinner. So what I'm going to do now is I just want to reinforce. That's a little tiny bit too thick. And of course, if you slightly over thin these, they have a tendency to split. So I'm just trying to get all of it bar the very deepest recesses. And it's like the wash has put a little template on for me. And there's a couple of the recesses that I've just actually dropped a bit of paint into, and I'm really not going to worry about it too much. So focusing on the edges. Dominique, how are you? Let me just finish this little bit, Dom, and I will be with you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me put the glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got Dom. How are you, my good friend?
Hi, Penny. Yeah, I'm okay.
Change these views to something quite nice. As there's now more than one of us, I think what I'll do is I will hide that, and then I'll change my view to this. How's that grab you all? So what you up to, Dom?
Yeah, I was looking in my closet to Warhammer stuff. I think I do something to paint.
Nice.
I go paint this too.
Right. Can I just say, you don't have to do Warhammer. Just because I'm doing a figure, it doesn't mean it's a figure painting.
No,
stream.
I at this evening I cannot spraying, airbrushing or whatever. Dus I do in the evenings. I do that more in the evenings. I'm not in the mood for plastic modeling. Then I do this.
That makes a lot of sense, because the evening you really want to be able to just put it down. Whereas if you've got your spray booth out, it takes a certain amount of prep time, doesn't it? And de-prep. What's the opposite of prepping? De-prep?
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Setting down. Right.
Yeah.
I am happy with that.
And I maybe you have seen that earlier. I invest in really good paints.
So that's what I've just done with me. So what I've done is I've reinforced that cobalt blue, but not fully. Oh, that's what are they, Citadel paints? I'm really sorry, Dom. I actually can't see because I have to take my glasses off to do close-up work. And then I look up and I'm like, the whole thing's nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
invest in all base colors, almost all colors.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, some people may misinterpret me when I say about Citadel. It's not the route I want to take. They take up more space in a drawer. Although saying that, you're going to laugh at me now. I learnt something last night. I was talking to someone. I can't remember what to call them on stream. Dark side modelling. Now, obviously,
Yeah.
the problem always used to be keeping the lids open, and what I used to try and do was stick a cocktail stick or something in the back. But apparently, they've redesigned this little tab on the back, and it does now actually keep the lid open.
Yes.
And I didn't realise that until last night. So, because I was about to print off some Citadel pot holders, the ones with a little clip on the top. So what I've done instead is I've downloaded this and printed it off. Because of the height of it, it saved me about 2 hours on the print bed. But if you watch these two, this is the difference it's making. Yeah, it's so much harder to knock it over.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, who hasn't spilt a pot of Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade all over the desk?
Oh yeah, I had a bottle of Mr. Surface Primer open
Yeah.
my desk. I
Yeah.
think it's now more than a year ago.
Oh, I tell you what, the worst thing I've spilt is Mr. Tool Cleaner.
Oh,
You are talking instantly clean cutting board, but you'll have no lines on it either.
no. All your lines are gone.
I mean, I actually, when my cutting board gets a little bit extremely dirty, I do actually clean it with Mr. Tool Cleaner, because it does the job. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a tiny bit of shining silver into this cobalt, thin it really down, and then I'm just going to sort of start highlighting towards the edges. And then what I'll do is, once I've done that, I will just hit it with a tiny bit of shining silver, just dotting it in extreme, where I want the extreme highlights, the real sharp points. But for now, I want to work out where my light source is. So it's going to be mainly along there, and I want to try and get these a little bit subtle. Using the edge of my brush. I suppose it's kind of a heavy edge highlight. One of the things I find interesting about figure painting is when you do the basic base coats, it looks nice because you've got the basic colours. It doesn't look exciting, and then you kind of progress, and it spends an awful long time just looking okay, and then all of a sudden you get those edge highlights in, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
I suppose it's like popcorn, isn't it? You put the bag in the microwave and it does nothing for ages, and then suddenly you get pop, 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 and then all of a sudden it goes pop, 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 pop.
Yes.
Right, so that looks dry. I'm going to come back to that because I've got a bit of a, not a ticking time bomb, but The paint that I've mixed on my palette is starting to dry up, so I want to try and use it and do that third coat on this. I think that could benefit. Yes. Yeah. So the way that I thin, these are good paints, and these do cover well, but I tend to thin my paints a little bit too much. So I'm not so much a 2 thin coats as a 3 thin coats. But to be honest with you, if I was thinning this much with a paint that wasn't these or Citadel, I'd probably be looking at 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 coats.
Yeah, Citadel. I think Citadel's better than Vallejo.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Vallejo. I'm hearing good things about their gaming paints, but
Yeah,
I
that's
mean
good stuff. I have that too.
yeah, I mean the thing is with Vallejo, they have their fan base, and I will never say any particular brand is crap, but what I will say is it doesn't work for me, and I know there will be Vallejo fanboys out there that are just hitting the unsubscribe button now. But you know, it's my opinion. If I said I don't like any particular brand, there will be a certain percentage that will unsubscribe. Whether I say I don't like, I probably already lost 20 subscribers by saying I want to come away from the Citadel brands. Having said that, there will be times when I use Citadel. I've got all of these Citadels from the Stormbringer magazine, and I'm painting the magazine models with Citadel paints, because the object of that video series is to go through. So if you know, if you've never done these before and you've got this magazine because you're thinking I think I'll like figure painting, then you know, if you're new to the hobby and you're following my magazine videos, the last thing I want to do is say, oh, I've chosen to use this. So right, where are we up to? I'm good. Mark says I'm going to have to say night now, even though I'm not going. My phone is about to die, but I'll carry on. That's fine, Mark. It's just nice to have you, even if you just pop in and say hello and go. It is really nice to see you. Athol says Hamish knows what Friday nights are all about and is hiding from Celia, as Friday night is bath night. You know, I was saying to someone today, I need to reevaluate my life, because I fed the cats this morning and I'm sitting there thinking, the cat food that I'm feeding them, it's slow cooked beef with tomato and spinach. And then as I'm preparing this food, I'm thinking, I've got fish fingers, chips and beans for my tea tonight. And I'm like, I shouldn't be the one eating. Well, obviously I choose what I eat. Athol says, Army Painter first edition was mostly rubbish, whereas Vallejo have gone from strength to strength. Yeah, I mean, I'll say Vallejo are, I think the old guard with Vallejo are from the tank modelers, aren't they? Their tank colours are really good, and really accurate colours, but I think everyone else is catching up, and I just don't get on with their primer. I find their white quite speckly, and when I discovered Badger paints, Badger Stylorez primer, I was just like blown away by it. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hit the tops of the spikes on his arm armour, mainly on the top, well, fully on the top. And then I think that brush is way too big for doing spot highlights. Even I can't control that, a brush that small. Brush that big, sorry. I do love my brushes, but there are limits. So, don't know how well you guys can see, but I'm just hitting spots. Definitely anywhere where there's a sharp angle, and always on the top. Absolutely no point hitting it on the bottom. And anywhere else you think it might need it. That I'm actually quite happy with. It's a little bit mucky, but so I'm just put my glasses on. I'll bring it really close to the camera. That's okay, isn't it?
That looks nice.
Yeah. You just maybe the little spot highlights are a little bit too much. Certainly fine from a tabletop standard, but I'm the stage that I'm trying to push myself at is that I know I can do tabletop standards, so I'm just trying to push myself into what do you call it? Let's call it cabinet standard. You know, something that you can put in a cabinet and people can have a close look without touching the model. Athol says I use Vallejo products in red, green, black and ghost greys plus Israeli IDF. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, Athol. I don't, you do. You're happy, I'm happy. You know, everyone's happy. And that's my attitude towards paint. Right, let's we're on a bit of a roll here, aren't we? Let's dry brush some true brush. That still feels a bit wet, so I've got to be careful with that. Right, so I'm going to get my awesome dry brush out, which is my makeup brushes, and I'm going to hit the brass bell with the true brass, and I'm just going to build that up. I've got a feeling I want to leave that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that longer. You know what happens if you hit a little spot of damp wash, all you're going to do is spread that around, aren't you? Right, let's work on the bandages then, or we could work on the axe. Yeah, let's do the axe. Let's do the axe. Right, so I believe I used gunmetal on that. Actually, I'm going to take a mini break, Dominic. Are you okay holding the fort while I'm out of coffee?
Yeah, no problem.
Lovely. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay. I will show you guys what I did for now. A little bit blue. This color Sun's blue. This blue. This is a really nice base color for this figure. And then I do later a little bit darker highlights. Maybe I can zoom in. The little base color. Ah, thank you very much, Ethel. Yeah.
So I am really, really sorry, Dom.
No problem.
I will be honest with you. I thought in the time it takes for the kettle to boil, I can probably get that print off the print bed and then I can get the next one started, and I completely misjudged it. So I am so sorry, guys. Athol saying thousands blues for Chaos Marines and coupled with Dio gold looks fantastic, Dom. And Dio should read deep. Ah, deep gold, yeah. Right. So, plate, gun metal. Let me just check. Weapon gun metal, yeah. Best thing I ever done was when I've written this little chart down of all the things that I've done, and then I can file this in an index box, and it's so handy because I can't remember what paint I used a week ago.
Oh, what I always do, I paint a figure.
Yeah.
The paints what I use for that figure, I set it separately in a plastic container.
Yeah.
And then I do the figure in the box. Then I know that paint, I use that for this figure.
Yeah, which is ordinarily is a fantastic idea, and I've just lost my milliput structure. There it is. Yeah, that works absolutely fine, but then you have people like me who comes along and I'm doing 58 projects at once. I really should organise myself and do 1 or 2 projects, but obviously if you're doing 4 or 5 different things, you're inevitably going to have paints that are going to do a crossover. So I hate normally what I'll do is when I finish with a paint, I wipe it with a toilet roll or kitchen roll, but every now and again I don't, and the easiest way I've found Actually, I've just thought of something. Back in a sec. So I normally scrape this with a ruler, but of course I got a scraper with a 3D printer, and then I bought a funnel set, and it came with another scraper, and I don't actually like it so much. The blade on the end isn't as sharp, but I'm just wondering. Look at that! Oh, that's so much easier than a steel ruler, isn't it? It's not perfect, but it's getting those big thick puddles up. Oh, look at that! And then usually the little bits that I can't get, I can just put a little bit of paint thinner in a rag, and it usually pulls them up, no problems.
Hot water in the kitchen sink is helping.
Pardon?
Hot water in the kitchen.
Yeah. But that does the job fine, look. And then if I can just find my little bottle of thinner, that'll finish that off nicely. I'll tell you what, I'll waste a bottle of Tamiya thinner. I do like a nice clean palette. You can, of course, get that palette paper from Games Workshop if you've got tons of money.
Yeah, kitchen paper is cheaper.
Yeah. But I mean, these tiles cost me nothing. I found them in one of the cupboards when I moved into this house. In fact, I actually threw about 15 tiles away, and I think I kept 3. And I have since dropped one, so I'm down to 2. Let me get this print started. So I will show you what I've got later. That's not what I wanted. Where is it? Oh yeah, because I sent it to the printer, didn't I? So I'm currently printing some paint bottle toppers. Just little tops that go onto the top of your Valleos and your war paints.
Yeah.
And then you paint them with the relevant colour, and then glue them onto the top, and then you've got the colour. But they do them for citadels, but they're supposed to snap on, but I'm not sure that's going to happen when you take into account tolerances on your 3D printers. I can't see that that's going to happen, but right. So what I think I will do, I'll try a dry brush of the gunmetal for the main blade. I think that'll be a lot simpler. And I'm gonna carry on doing. I'm gonna have to go and get myself some kitchen roll. Bear with me. So I don't think there's anybody watching that doesn't know how to dry brush, but I will explain just in case. See, two great minds think alike, as I was about to recommend using a blade to remove the dried paint off a tile. Yeah, well, it's having a blade. So dry brushing. I recommend makeup brushes, but you can get proper dry brushes. You want a nice soft bristle brush. You want to go slightly too large rather than too small. Get a little bit of paint on the edge, and then get yourself a kitchen roll, and then you rub off as much paint as you can. And then I test on the back of my hand. what we're looking for is for it to leave a very faint mark, which you can see there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be flicking this over the model, and what it'll do is it will catch all the raised edges and paint them with the paint, and it will leave the deeper recesses. So you just flick, 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 and I'm a bit worried about going too heavy on this because this is brittle resin, and then what you very, very quickly get is it starts to pick up all the highlights, and it starts off quite subtle, and you just keep building it up. Now the only trouble is it does leave a bit of a chalky residue, so the more modern method is to create yourself a texture palette and just find something to paint and paint that until you start to run out of paint. In fact, I'm going to use a much bigger brush than that. This is my biggest brush I've got. And all it's going to do is just reinforce the higher edges, but you're flicking it too fast to get right into the deep recesses. So if you look at the difference there between the top of the blade and the middle of the blade, it's just brought back that main surface. Just be careful though, it does have a tendency to make a mess on everything around in the vicinity. So don't be surprised if you end up with a load of metallic paint on your wooden blade. And just keep building it up until you're happy. You right there, Dom?
Yes.
Okay.
Layer for layer.
You know what they need to make on StreamYard, don't you? Or Streamlabs, or whatever the hell this is called. I keep calling it Melon, but it's not actually Melon. I need a button that I can press and it gives you a cup of tea and a biscuit. Because a good host will always offer you tea and biscuits, won't they?
Yeah.
I tell you what, if that
I have something to drink. I drink Fanta tonight.
You drink who?
Fanta.
Fanta. Fanta, my friend, Fanta. I'm very old and I know all the TV adverts from years gone by.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and be careful around these parts, but because this is such a large model, the detail is quite pronounced. So like, if you compare the back of it to the front, but that detail is there, isn't it? Right. Apparently you shouldn't dry brush flat areas like this. You should be dry brush. So basically I'm dry brushing a flat area, and then I've got another model with a lot of fur, which is just dry brush heaven, isn't it? And I'm layer painting it, because I think there's something quite therapeutic about layering every single piece of fur, and I suspect that not everyone will agree on that one.
I buy on Amazon a brush set, dry brush set.
Yeah,
That's a really good one.
see, I like my makeup brushes When I first saw a video of someone goes, try using dry brushes, I went, you're taking a mickey there. And then I was in a pound shop and I got these. I think they were about £1.50. They're just eyeshadow brushes.
This looks like the really expensive set.
Ah,
With the things, but it's not expensive. It was €20.
is that a lot? I don't think it is it? Because I think dry brushes can be £10–15 a brush, can't they?
Yeah, and then it's included your cleaning cup with a little sponge in it. You can clean it up,
Yeah,
and then you have on the other one with the black lid on it. You have a solution in it. You can clean your brush,
yeah.
and I like this stuff. I got a tip from one man from America. He say you can buy this. This is not too expensive. And then you have a really great set. Looks like the
Yeah.
same as the expensive one.
See, I don't mind spending the money if it's a product that I need, but I really hate spending the money if I can get the same results for buying something cheaper.
Yeah,
If you're prepared to put a bit of effort and work into this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with these brushes. Oh, I like whatever that is coming on that bit of track music. There you go. Before, after.
oh, that looks nice.
It's alright, isn't it? And this
Yeah.
side should be easier because I'll actually be able to put it down. And then what I'll do is I'll do a targeted dry brush with shining silver or something bright, and that'll just hopefully just pick up. I think I want to be a little bit heavier on there. Oh, I need to be much heavier on that one. And this is where you discovered that you've not cut the supports off properly. Because if you've got little tiny supports on there, the dry brushing will highlight it.
Yeah,
Right, I have got that arm ache that only a mouthful of coffee will sort out. Come on, I just want to get that last bit done. I really want to learn non-metallic metal one day. It seems to be one of those things that those that have learnt it goes, oh, it's easy. But the learning curve seems to be quite high for it.
nothing is easy.
Well, would it be fun if it was easy?
No. I think you need a little bit struggling with sometimes, and that holds you really sharp
Yeah.
with what you're doing. And otherwise, it needs a hobby, right? It's not for work or something.
Well, yeah, I see what I claim is that once you've hit a point where you are good at something, don't stand still.
No,
and there's always new things coming on into fashion. I mean, since I've been back doing miniature painting, you've got this slap chop. I know slap chop's getting quite old now, but that's all come in since I started the hobby. And Grimdark, I don't know how long Grimdark's been around for, but I've only just spotted it, and that looks very interesting, because that looks like one of those things where I mean, I use Agrax Earthshade a lot because it gives it that kind of weathered look, but Grimdark takes that to a new level, doesn't it? I don't know if I went a bit too much there. No, that's not too bad actually. I was just a little bit frightened that I went a bit too heavy on the dry brush there, but it's alright, isn't it? I think that's come out a little bit more of an overbrush than a dry brush, but it's still done the job. I'm happy enough with that, and I think once we do that final bright highlight, I think that'll be okay, except just come out lighter on the bottom. Sorry guys, I don't keep I've got this habit of leaning forwards, and instead of seeing my model, you're seeing my big fat head. Right, that I'm okay with that. I think I perhaps, no, I don't think I have gone too much on the back, but it's still got the effect of the wash. Okay, so let's get my brush. I find that I have to really clean my brush when I do dry brushing, because you're effectively forcing forcing dry paint into the bristles, aren't you? Beautiful. Right. So almost the same again, but with something like shining silver, and I think that's the brightest silver they have. And then we'll just really focus on where the extreme shines would be, the extreme highlights. So obviously the model's going to sit like that, so I'm doing a lot more focus on the top, along there, down there, a little bit along there, definitely along there, not quite so much down there, because my light source is always 45 and 45. So 40, looking at the model, 45 degrees up, 45 degrees across, and that's how I do my light. Back in a sec. That's interesting. My printer stopped printing, saying that it stopped printing because it's reached the maximum limit of resin. But it's about 2 or 3 millimeters from the max mark. So I don't understand that. Is that even brighter? Let me get my swatches out. That's interesting. There is actually quite a big difference between the two, but on the palette it doesn't look that great. Right. So what did we say? We went there. So there's my main focus. So most of my dry brushing now is going to be away from me.
My brushes are too big.
Say again?
My brushes are too big.
Oh no. What, your dry brushes or your general painting brushes?
Normal paint brushes.
Yeah.
I need smaller one. I have the smallest one that I have is 0.10.
Wow, that's very small. That's obscenely small.
No, it's not small. It's too big. Come on, camera.
No, just control your paint, Dom.
I got try.
I've seen people paint Warhammer miniature eyes with a number 2 brush.
Yeah. I'm not a Warhammer painter. Yeah, I tried.
No, I was going to say that person isn't me. I can do all right with my number 2 brush, so long as I'm using my Kolinsky sable brush. With a normal sable brush, no. But Kolinsky sable, I can get a really good point on. But I think that's more to do with the brush manufacturer rather than me, isn't it? Is that not enough? I think I might hit that with an edge highlight. Right.
Yeah. I try to do his teeth, but that's not easy.
His what? His teeth?
Yeah, he have on the picture here.
Yeah.
You can see on this picture. He have
Nice.
really big teeth, and I try to paint that stuff, but that's absolutely not easy to do.
No, no.
And my color of the face is too light. The blue is too light. I need to make it darker too. I do that with I think I do first that little face. That's the most work. And then with my magnifier, we say that little thing that make it bigger on my nose.
Your magnifying glass?
Yes, that thing.
Okay, that I'm liking. I've just painted a couple of extreme highlights, nothing major.
Okay, I like it
But
dry for
I
a
think
while.
that's just a little bit better. I think it's one of those things that if it's that subtle that it kind of looks good, but you don't know why. Kind of subtle.
Yeah.
Jeff Light has joined us. He says, "Good evening, guys. How are you, Jeff?"
Hi, Jeff.
Right. Let's do. Should we do wood next or skin? Let's do some skin painting, shall we? because I hate skin, and that's where I muck models up generally. So I need topaz skin upwards, which is normally set number 3. Right, get rid of that because I'm going to put my hand in it otherwise. Oh, don't know why I'm shaking the strong tone when I want topaz skin. Let's get me good brushes out, shall we? Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 50-50 mix of topaz skin and jasper skin, which this seems to be blocked for some reason. It is. I've never shaken it because the ball is stuck at the bottom. Oh blimey, it's 25 to 11. Where has the time gone? That's shifting.
Yeah, it's half past 11 here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm trying to be a little bit more strict on my times, especially as I've got a 1 p.m. start tomorrow. I normally go bed about 2 or 3 in the morning, but 3 o'clock in the morning is going to bed at 3 in the morning is absolutely fine when you got a 5 p.m. start the next day. But it doesn't work quite so well, especially as I'm a get into work an hour early kind of person.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. So what I'm aiming for here is, rather than going, there isn't an awful lot between these two colours, and if you thin your paints enough, like if you look at it's very hard with my lights being so bright, but there isn't a major difference between those two paints. But what I found with the Games Workshop paints, because you're going base and 2 layers, so you've got a 3-step process. If you go, Tiffany, how are you? I'm here. You know, you're welcome to join us. I remembered to do the link. So what I found with
sorry, oi.
Hey, all right. Obviously, you've only got 3 paints with the Games Workshop, but if you combine the 3 paints, you can now go up to a 5 stage. Now, where you've got six color triads with this, you can actually go right up to 11 stages, and the steps are a little bit closer. And if you thin your paints and then combine the paints, you can get some quite nice blends. So there. So I'm painting over all of it, apart from the very deepest recesses, and it's quite hard to see, probably because I might have overdone the thinning, but you're probably not going to notice an awful lot. Let's and then the next colour I'll hit the same, not quite so deep as this one, and then if it needs it, if there are a little bit of colour blends, colour steps, I can just pop in some pop in a little bit of wash and it should all tie that together. So I'm looking to hit a total of 3 colours. So that could be 5 different colours, because obviously with the combining them, I've got to remember to lift my brush better. If you stop and lift your brush, it's a bit like airbrushing, isn't it? If you stop and lift, you get a little blob, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. And this is just one of those things, it's just going to have to be built up slowly. And this is the main reason why I don't think this is going to be finished tonight. And well, it won't be finished tonight, and probably won't be finished by the weekend, because I'm going to be building these. I mean, I'm probably taking the mickey a little bit by going very, very thin. There you go, look. So that arm, it's a long way from being finished, but you can see how he's starting to build up. It's also an opportunity to fix things where my paint might be a little bit uneven. I can get in there and fix it. Is that the lovely Danielle I can hear, Dominique?
Yeah, she's give the dog something.
Bless.
Little biscuit or something.
Don't think I've actually I mean, I've said hello to her a couple of times, but I've not really sort of chatted with her, but I can feel that from the way that you talk about her, she's a lovely girl.
Yeah, she is she cannot hear you. I have my headphone on.
Yeah.
As
Oh, that's
she has
fine,
her-
so I can say whatever I want about her. No, I know from the way, you can just tell from the way that you talk about her that she's obviously a decent person.
Yeah,
And you've been together a while as well, haven't you?
yeah. 2006.
Yeah, wow. I can't imagine making a commitment to anyone for more than a day, let alone that length of time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
You do know that wasn't the correct answer, don't you, Dom? The correct answer was, "Phew, only feels like yesterday when I met her." That's starting to come together. This is more kind of evening out where I've put 2 thin coats on. I didn't want to lose all of that shading underneath, so I didn't want a solid coat, but it's not come out even. So I'm kind of using this first one to even things out a bit. And the areas where it's even, it's starting to look nice. And then once I get those highlights in properly, I think it'll look fab. See, there's a little bit in there. It's not caught the paint at all. So I'm going to have to actually put paint in there. Of course, if I painted really well, I wouldn't have to do this now, would I? Yeah, I'm starting to like this. And this base is very, very handy for holding it as well. I think I'm going to stick with this chill music. It's I quite like it. It's not in your face, it's not overpowering.
No.
And it can be ignored as well, can't it? I know there'll be some people watching that'll go, oh, that's not to my taste. But is there such a thing as a piece of music that'll suit everybody? There's a radio station that they used to have on at work in the break room, and it used to make me laugh because it's a radio station called Smooth or Smooth FM, and it's one of those channels that no one goes, oh, I fancy listening to Smooth FM, put it on, but at the same time, if it's on, no one will come in and go, oh, turn this crap off.
Yeah.
It's just the absolute perfect music station for workplace. You know, if you had like heavy rock FM or rap FC, whatever it is, you know, you'll get someone who'll go, no. But Smooth is just, yeah, they play some modern music, but not really the full-on modern stuff.
I listen almost not to the radios. I'm more my MP3 collection.
Yeah, I tend to go in phases. And it also depends on the time of the day, because I absolutely hate Friday and Saturday night radio, because it tends to be sort of, I'm getting ready to go night clubbing type music, and I'm not into that. So what I do is during the week I might be listening to the radio, and if I pick up the odd song or two that I like, I'll add it to my Amazon playlist. And then when there's nothing on the radio that I want to hear, I just tell Alexa to play my playlist randomly.
Yeah.
And that works well for me. And I've got songs on there that I have not heard in bloody ages. So I'm just thinning this slightly more, and I'm just going to go over any areas that I think are a bit patchy, just from where that initial layer went down. a little bit patchy, and I just want to kind of color match it a bit more, and then hopefully we can get this skin looking nice, and then each layer will just make it look a bit nicer. Equalize, I think, is the word I'm looking for there, isn't it? You know what, I think this is really starting to come together now. Oh, so this, you know, the 3D prints I do come from Loot Studios, well, amongst other places. I signed up a week ago. They've got this thing called 3D Printing Heroes, and it's a little online course. Basically, they've got a load of unlisted YouTube videos, and what they do is they essentially just give you the links to them. And I've started doing that yesterday. It's just sitting there watching videos, and it's like very, very theoretical, and to start with, it's all about the basically they throw all these words at you, and then they tell you, yeah, that's very boring, all you need to know is this. And then I think the second video was the anatomy of a 3D printer. And they actually have a 3D print, excuse me, they have a 3D printer which they take apart and they show you the components. And I'm like, when the video came on, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really bothered by all of that, but I'll watch it. And then by the end of the video, I'm like, actually, this is really interesting, the way it works.
Yeah. I have that sometimes with scale model videos.
Yeah.
And I think, what is the guy doing? It looks like crap.
Yes.
And then the end result, absolutely amazing.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I'm not going to get this to award-winning standard. If you come to my stream expecting to learn how to paint something that will win Golden Demon, then I'm sorry. But if you look at this skin tones today compared to when from part one, you know, it's all starting to come together, and sometimes the process is a little bit horrible, and I've seen it before. It's like when people do when they do orcs, you know, they're putting down dark greens and then they're putting bright yellows down, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I like watching videos where people do things in a crazy way. Like when someone told me, I mean, there's 1,000,001 ways to paint orcs, isn't there? But one way that's really good is to paint him yellow and then apply a green wash over him, or a shade. That really works well. And a video I watched of painting C3PO, he's not actually gold as such, and what this guy's done is he's painted him silver, and then applied two shades of Agrax Earthshade over him, and he looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, there are a couple people that doing it really, really good.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, I've got 18 metallic paints in this range, which, if I play my cards right, should give me something like 50 different shades of metallic, depending on how I use them. Right, guys, I am not going to start anything new now because it's 10:02. So you're going to have my gorgeous face now for the rest of the stream. So now I've got those shades down, I think we are on the home straight now. So what I'll do for the rest of this model is I'll do a little bit of skin, and then I'll do something else, and then I'll go back and do the next bit of skin, and then I'll do like the bit of wood, and I think that will keep the interest level going for the skin, because otherwise if I'm just sitting there doing skin for 15 streams, everybody, including myself and especially you guys, will just get bored. I tell you what, I will start one new thing. I want to put should I put, remind me, dark tone is the brown, isn't it? No, dark tone is the black, strong tone is the blue. Right, let's brown even. Let's put a little bit of strong tone on this base, and what I'm going to try and put it on quite thinly and really pull it across, because you can't see that detail in there. But what I've kind of got a backup plan. If it doesn't do what I want it to do, I think I'm probably going to do the, oh god, no, that's not quite doing what I want it to do. No. Nope. I might have to dry brush that back in then. Yeah, that's kind of working. You can start to get the detail popping in there. So it looks like I'm going to have to go back to my original plan B, which is give it a varnish and then get some oil paints, get some brown oil paints, and then just keep pulling it. It's something I've never done before, but you know how you get that wood grain effect using a light paint and then just pulling a dark green out across it to get those lines. I'm going to have to do something because that's just come out a bit stainy. Because the only problem I've got is, obviously doing the lines on the sides is easy because I'll just do them up, but then I've got to make them all meet in the middle, and I have no idea how I'm going to do that.
Dit is het voor on dit moment, and
say that again, Dom.
this is for this moment.
Oh,
Only
nice.
my camera won't not focus.
No, he looks blue. Is he meant to be blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's blue.
I didn't want to go, oh, nice shade of blue, and you go, blue? He's green.
No, he's blue.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to choose my words carefully. I've never come across a blue orc before.
Yeah, it's on the cover on the back side of the package.
Okay.
You have a picture, and then yeah, it looks like blue.
I mean, one of the best lessons I've heard on orcs, I went into a Games Workshop store and I said, what colour do I actually want for an orc? And he says, what colour is an orc? And I went, well, I don't know, green? And he went, well, it's any colour you want. He says, if you watch Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, the orcs are white, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then he says, and he explained that orcs aren't born, they come from spores. So a group of orcs will be the same colour. But even then, if you had a unit that consists of the leftovers from that unit and the leftovers of that one, you've then got, and he says black orcs aren't black. And I said, well, that makes sense. And so basically, and he says, you find me the encyclopedia that tells you, I mean, if you looked in the encyclopedia and you looked up elephants, then you can get a picture of the exact shade of an elephant. So you can't paint an elephant blue, can you? But you know, orcs are whatever. So again, just like your metallics, by using various shades of green with a different shade or wash over the top. And what I tend to do now is I'll do my orcs a green. I have a green that I use for my orcs, and my goblins, I take that green up a shade. And then what I'll do is I kind of do it on a rank basis. So my normal orcs I'll shade with an Agrax Earth shade, but my more senior orcs will be done with a black, so kind of a black orc kind of thing. But yeah. You know, the question is, what colour is an orc? And the answer is whatever colour you want to be, because no one can actually prove you wrong. Guys, I am so sorry, I am so behind on the chat. So good evening, I'm here. Won't be joining. I'm in a hell of a lot of pain. Hip gave way. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let's put you on Big Tom, because Dom. I did say Dom, because that looks. Oh, yes, I like that.
Yeah, there's two.
I'm just discovering those whiz kids. They're all right, aren't they? And they're not very expensive.
No, these are €6, €6.50, €10. That price each. That's okay. This smaller ones, the smaller boxes from Dungeons and Dragons are €6 or something, and this is more to the 10.
Well, I keep losing him and refinding him again. So I have got somewhere in the world a Venom Troll. He wasn't very expensive. And then the other day I bought these.
Oh yes, I was looking for that one. I cannot find it here.
Well, I'm going to be using them for subject of a video, because in fact I think it was Bearded Veteran, he took the words out. He said it before I was able to. I said, I've been down to the shops and I bought these gas spores, and he went, why didn't you print some off? And I'm like, that's exactly what I thought. As soon as I got home, I'm like, Penny, you're an idiot. You've just gone down the shop and bought some, and you got yourself a 3D printer. I did a 30-second search on Thingiverse, and I found 4 eye spores. So, right, Athol says, hello, it's that redhead again. Hi, Tiffany. Jeff says, hi, Tiffany. Athol says, you need to get yourself a Zimmer frame, Tiff. Not because you're old, but because you have leg problems. I think he was being serious then as well. And that's, I'm not going to say that's unwise advice. Hi, Jeff, didn't see you in tonight, you and Lady Maggie. Jeff Light says, only arrived a few minutes ago, Athol. Well, let's put it this way, Athol. You noticed him before I did. Yes, Athol, it's that redhead again. I'm looking into a walking stick to help me. Tiffany, absolutely no shame in that. If you need a walking stick at 30, if it helps you walk with a walking stick when you're 60, then yeah, no shame in it. Plus, if anyone annoys you, you can bang people with it. Tiffany says, hi Jeff. Athol says, 30? Well, your avatar must have been photoshopped as I thought you were a teenager. Tiffany says, no Photoshop, no filters, just good lighting. Though I've been told multiple times I don't look my age. Athol says, only 2 months to go and I'll be 27/72 again. Wish I was. I'd be overseas working on pipeline contracts for some. Yeah, do you know what? I've the subject often comes up with various people. If you could go back and change anything, would you? And usually without hesitation I go no. You know, I've done some stupid things in my past, and I've done things. I don't regret anything I've done, but I refer to it as a learning experience. But there are a couple of things I'm starting to think, yeah, there's a couple of things I'd change, like the power of saving a small amount of money over a long time. Oh my, I've got an investment ISA thingy where you save as much as you want and they invest it in an ISA, and I checked it the other day and it's coming out at 8%, and I thought, well, I'm alright with that, and I invested it on the basis that I'm trying to save long term for a house deposit, and so long as if I've got more money in than I've invested, I really can't complain. You know, if I've invested £10,000 and the value of my savings account is £10,001, I really can't complain, can I? Because it's more than I started with. But 8%'s all right. Tiffany says, I wish I could work too, but alas I cannot. Too much achiness and my doc physiotherapist forbids it. I've been told might be in a wheelchair by 45. Well, there you go. That just kind of adds weight to the walking stick, doesn't it? If the walking stick can keep you out of a wheelchair until you say 50 even, surely that's got to be worth it. Well, Tiff, there are plenty of ex-servicemen and women who would wish they had a wheelchair instead of waiting for artificial limbs, so don't be sad that you have another 15 years to ready yourself. Yeah, I think I know it doesn't always help the individual, but there is always someone worse off than yourself. Use that information however you want.
Okay, Kenny, I get to go, but I go to sleep. I'm
yes,
tired.
Okay, well look, thank you very much for popping in, Dom. You know you're always welcome. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. Yeah, no problem.
I shall probably be on about half an hour catching up with this chat.
Okay, now I see you in the next one, and
yeah, I'll see you whenever I see you. If I only see you in someone's chat, I'll say hello, obviously.
yeah, okay.
All right, take care, Dom.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So Athol says, but as medicines go in 15 years, there may be a cure for your problem, so never give up hope. Tiffany says, oh, I know, I have a lot of veteran friends. I know I'm lucky to be able to walk still, even if it hurts. So Athol says, we want the putty tats getting played with, Penny. Well, neither of them are in the craft room, so I can't even force them. Shadow has discovered, I've got some boxes underneath. There's a table, they're just out of camera. And I've had to move some of the boxes out. I was starting to sort of prepare a few things, and he's found a hole, so he goes in there. And it scared the hell out of me last night because I couldn't find him anywhere before bed. And I could find her. She's normally the one that goes missing. She's normally the one that finds good hiding places. And I spend ages finding her. And I even tried the trick. I've got a lock on the cupboard and I just flick the lock a couple of times and he comes running, and he was in such a good hiding place it took him about 30 seconds to get out. So but now I know where he is. Lord of the Rings orcs are covered in white daub colour over their skin, shading a brownish green penny. There you go, you got 3 colours there, whites, greens and browns. So yeah, what colour is an orc? My answer is whatever colour you want him to be. Athol says take care Dom by Dom, and that is the chat caught up. Give me 1 second guys, I'll show you this. I haven't the Citadel paint toppers are halfway through, but I think they're not cured, but I can show you the army painter one. Oh, I might just pull the headphone. Can you hear me guys? Because I think I just pulled the headphone out. Right, so what I've got here, I've put my glove on because it's not cured. It's just been through the wash process, so it's got rid of the excess wash. But it's just a little thing with some detail on it, and that goes onto the top of your bottle like that, and you can paint it with the colour. So I'll paint this one with Dryad Brown. I'll pop it on there, and then that way I can tell what colour, the actual colour, and I think that will actually save me doing all of these, and that should still fit into my paint storage properly, and that is actually not a bad fit. I will glue it. I'll put a little touch of that resin glue on the top there, and that'll stay on there permanently then. They look like they're a little bit warped, but to be honest with you, this is more of a functional print than a pretty print, so it doesn't really matter if it's a bit deformed. So over the coming weeks you will start to see these appear on my paint pots, and then there is a version coming out for these, but there's 48% on the print bed. So let me just pop that back. So I think I would class that as one of those items that that's not why I bought the 3D printer. You know, I didn't spend 400 quid on a 3D printer to go, oh, I know I'm going to do little toppers. And if you bought those toppers, I don't know what they'd cost, but probably cost you a few pots of paint equivalent. So is it worth doing? And you know, once you've got them, obviously you have your priorities with 3D printing, like doing your figures for your next stream. Guys, what do you want me to do on the next stream? Should we start thinking about that? I don't know what let's have a quick look at the Loot Studios site. Now on the 1st of the month there is something else coming out. What is the date? Give me a sec, guys. So it is, I think I'll finish this on the 24th of November, and then, do you know what, we might as well, we could do whatever we want, because it's practically next month by the time I finish this. So let me do a because if you guys make me do something big, then I might need a little bit extra time to print it off. So I've been painting from this Abyssal Haze. I don't know why this is slow. So we've got this guy, which I don't fancy doing any of the enemies because I'm doing an enemy. That looks quite interesting, saying that. There's an awful lot going on. The heroes on here, I quite like that. I quite like her dress. And I'm not very good at doing like stockings, but she's wearing high boots. He looks fairly interesting, and I quite like him, but he's a lot of armor. If we look at the Arthurian, so the November drop is this Arthurian Tales, and that's where that big dragon's come from. So you've got King Arthur, you've got Lancelot of the Lake, Queen Guinevere. She looks quite nice because she's got all this flowing dress, so that's robe work, isn't it? Merlin, and I quite like that whooshy bit, but I don't know if I'll make a mess of that. We've got the Lady of the Lake. Now that looks interesting because that bit in the middle at about her waist length, that looks to me like it's the water level. So what I'm not going to go and buy any resin, but I looked at that and I thought, oh, if I printed that in clear resin and painted it all except for that bit in the middle, I think that would look quite nice. Then we've got Galahad. Now he's on a horse, and I do struggle with horses, so I don't know how far you guys are going to push me. Are you going to push me into stuff that you like or stuff that you know I'm not good at? And I don't see that as a bad thing. If you're pushing me into things that I'm not good at, then obviously I'll get better. He's rather big. You got Morgan Le Fay, Mordred the Usurper. Now he looks really good, but that is nearly all metallic work, which I don't have a problem with metallics, but obviously he's pretty much going to be one colour. You've got a questing beast there. So you've got the body, which is similar sort of style to a horse, with blending into a snake. So that looks like it could be fun. Green Knight there. A Fank. And you've got a half-blood giant. Or do you want me to do another bust? We've got King Arthur, Morgan Le Fay, the Black Knight, Queen Guinevere. I quite like that bust actually. You've still got a bit of flowing robes. We don't seem to have... Yeah, I can't do a spinny round on it. And then we've got some freebies that I've got. So you've got this Legacy free mini pack, and this is quite nice. I've not signed up for the sci-fi subscription because I'm generally not into sci-fi. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know if you guys pick something that I'm not quite comfortable with, I know you're not doing it to be arses. You're doing it for me to just push myself. Aha, we have a cat. Mr. Shadow, are you going to come and say hello? Because you are requested. No, he's just looking at me with some kind of contempt. Oh no, he is coming. Come on. Come on. Come on, mister. No, he's going away. So this I quite like, but you actually get a sci-fi version of him. So, you know, if by getting the odd free sci-fi mini, that's quite nice, because then I can just do the odd sci-fi. Yeah, I'm not saying I'll never do sci-fi, but I don't like it enough to pay $18 a month for the subscription. You got some masks there. Now here I quite like. But I like him. And then you've got Cyberpug, and then you've got the Head Splitter. And he looks quite interesting. There's a lot of leather armor on him. This one I think I'm predicting that you guys are going to like this one. This is obviously it's a Halloween special because he's Mr. Pumpkin Death Rider, and he's available in 75 and 32 mil. Let's see if I can get him bigger, because I think you're going to like him. He's got a motorcycle that's pretty much made of bone, but there's a lot of smoke, and I'm not so good at smoke. Oh, that gnome looks like Sprue with a bubble pipe. Oh well, you've convinced me then. This one? Should we do him in 75 because I've not done... Yeah, I thought you'd like him, Tiff. I take it that's the Pump King. Right, looks like I've got your surprise Christmas present sorted out. Right, so let me write his name down. How many people have we got on stream? 7. So we've got... What's he called? Galjin. And I'll call him Galjin Pipe. And then we've got Mr. Pumpkin. And let's find one more figure. Death Rider. Yeah. Then we've got a free mini pack there. So we've got a Goblin Scoundrel. I quite like these goblins. And Goblin Warrior. I quite like the expression on his face. Festering Troll. And then you've got whatever she's called. Auntie Gremoth. The ever used. Toadfolk. I quite like him. Toadfolk Marksman. And the Sentinel. Now I quite like the Scoundrel. In fact, I'm going to put him as the third choice. And the reason I like him is obviously he's going to be green skin, and if I do his clothing in sort of a corn red, it's going to work because obviously you're using two colours that are opposite on the scale. So then that way, you know, if you do a really good paint job with colours that don't work, I think that you're still better off doing two colours that work together, but the paint job's not quite so good. It sort of does half the work for you. Right, let's do a mini quick poll. So where is it? I can't do a poll. Here we are. Engage with your ideas. Start a poll. Right, so next build. Next build, question mark. Option 1, sprue and glue with a pipe. Second option is, we'll just call him Death Rider. And the third option will be, what's he called? Scoundrel. So I'm going to start that poll. And I'm going to vote for my favourite, which I can't do. And then I'm just going to nip to the toilet, guys. I'll be about 3 or 4 minutes. And then I'll finish the poll, and then whatever we've got. I can see we've got 1 vote, something saying 100%. Right, I'll be back in about a couple of minutes, guys. Right, I have returned, guys. So let's give it 30 seconds. I'll catch up with the chat. I can only see one result on the poll, so I don't know what's winning. Right, so what we got? So we've got Athol, yes. Tiffany, Death Rider. Athol, Sentinel. Death Rider could be Ghost Rider. Listen, Tiff, if Death Rider comes out as the winning one, you are helping me with it. Tiffany, don't take this the wrong way, but I presume your man is 100% into you, and what happens down the road, he will remain by your side. Do you know what? I don't know Sonic. I'm so sorry. I don't know her other half that well, but what I do know, I would suggest that, yeah. Right, okay, let's close this poll. No, okay, guys, I'm going to be a bit naughty then. I'm gonna do a deciding vote, if you don't mind. So I'm going to switch to my other account, and then I'm going to do a deciding vote. So I am going to go with, I don't know. I really don't know now. Right, let's go for him. Right, so you've got until I switch my account back to change that voting and make yours win. Is this ever going to load up? My YouTube page is not loading. Poll has been ended, and the winner is, I hope Spoo's not watching this. No, he'll take it in good. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Sonic is great, Athol. He's very supportive of whatever happens to me. He hates seeing me in pain. Right, so we have got a winner on the poll. So our next build will be, let me go back and find it. I can't remember where he's come from now. Funnily enough, all this money I'm spending on minis, and you go and pick a freebie. Do you pick up? Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be my next build. So I will get on with printing him. I'm looking at the wrong screen. There we go. That's going to be my next build. I quite like him, actually. And I'm thinking, shall I do him with ginger hair? I like my my dwarfs with ginger hair. I just think it looks right. I've got a comment there that's come up, but there's nothing on it. That's strange, isn't it? So yeah, so I'll get on and print that. I'll print him in 75mm, so he'll be nice and big. Not so much skin to worry about on that one. But it looks like we've got flowing robes. So, but look at the detail on him. I think we have made the right choice. Right, so guys, what I'll do, if I remember, I will next, when we come to finishing this gouging, what I'll do is I'll pick 2 more models, and I will give you a third option of the Death Rider, and then that gives you a chance to vote for them again. How does that sound? Right guys, so that is me finishing. Let's cut the music. That's almost at the end. I thought it was supposed to be a 2-hour track of music, but unless we messed around with it. Right guys, so as always, let me close these down. Close that one, that makes me big. So as always, thank you for being with me while I paint. This is what we're up to. I think I've ruined that base, you know. So that's what we're up to. Not a huge difference from yesterday other than the shades, but I'm quite happy with those skin tones now. That is heading in the direction that I want it to head in. So that's all very good. So I will see you on Wednesday. Wednesday's my next day off. And then I'm off Saturday, Sunday. And then I'm getting too far ahead here, but the following week is Saturday and Sunday. So I've got 2 consecutive weekends off. And then it's December. And then I go into panic mode because as you can see, I've still got a lot packing to do. So yeah, panic mode. Right guys, so I take care guys, and I will catch you on the next stream. Bye bye.
Goes on a bit, doesn't it? Well, you've listened to it this far, but you probably won't again.
So we'll be taking even less care from now on.
The singing might go off a bit, and the words won't have to rhyme.
And there's no line here.